Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, barbecue heads of all ages, welcome to the Barbecue Chat Show. It is Sunday night. My name is Cowboy Kev. Our boy Mikey will be joining us very shortly for our favorite time of the week, Sunday nights, where we get to talk about barbecue, things that are pissing us off, and answer you guys' questions. So tonight, our topic is, why is sellout a bad thing? And it's not in our world, but a lot of people believe it is. Thank you, man. Robert Sierra. He's awesome. Fantastic pitmaster and sells these badass hats. So if you haven't checked him out, go look up Robert Sierra and get yourself one of the. So our boy Mikey should be joining us any minute now. Oh, I'm not. Let's go, people.
Yo.
Yeah. No, that's not going to be my catchphrase.
Let's go. Listen. I don't know how to cook barbecue, but I'm the meat teacher. So let's go.
Mikey's starting off right away trying to get me to fucking shoot beer out my nose.
Hi, I'm back.
No.
Yeah.
And we're wearing different shirts this time.
I know I'm wearing a Bucky shirt. For all you fuckers who wonder.
Yeah. Kansas City. Welcome, guy. Welcome. So tonight,
Bucky's in the house.
Tonight, our topic is sellout a bad thing? And I don't mean our souls. We already know those are gone.
Yeah. I'm coming off of a 2-day barbecue or 2-day festival, being the only barbecue truck on it. The first night we started at 4. We were sold out by 6:45. Got bitched at for it. Well, you guys didn't last that long. Yeah, I know. But if I did last that long and I had food left at the end of the night, were you going to buy it?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't gonna. I'm not giving you guys any guarantees. Okay.
Oh.
Well, first of all, one truck didn't show up, so that's a problem already.
Yeah.
That puts more pressure on our trucks.
Yep.
I look at what I'm gonna cook, and I gauge everything about 24 hours before the event.
Well, because you got to look at weather, the crowd. Look at what happened to you for the 4th of July when you were supposed to do the fireworks.
Exactly. Yeah. So we gauge everything. You know what I mean? Like, we try to gauge it. There was rain in the forecast. And they're like, well, it didn't rain. I understand that. What if it did?
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that said, well, it might rain. Yeah, fuck it. We're not going to go there today. We don't want to take the chance.
Sure. There probably was.
Mm.
But if it had rained, then I would have been standing there in my fucking truck going, look, it's lovely rain. I have all this food. What the fuck do I do with it?
Yep.
Right?
Well, and that's one of the biggest things that people don't understand, especially when it comes to doing barbecue as a food truck.
Yeah. Also, like, unfortunately, like, our menu, we serve cuts of meat that aren't like, it's not like a burger truck and you can do, burgers and tacos. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, cool. So, ground beef's going for both.
Yeah.
If I'm not selling burgers, just sell tacos.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, with you, what's up?
Or like, if I'm not, stuff like that. Or like there was a tamale truck. Well, his base tamales are the same, and then he puts different toppings on them. Okay, cool. So he knows he's making X amount of tamales, right?
Yep.
But like, he can keep his whole menu the whole time. What do I do when my pork belly burn ends are gone?
Yeah.
Comes off the menu.
And it's gone. And it's, yes, regular restaurants 86 stuff all the time, but that's usually either something really weird happened or a special that they knew they were only going to have a limited amount of.
Yeah.
Barbecue is very different because you had to decide how much you were going to make the day before.
Yeah.
Minimum the day before. And you probably started thinking about it 2 or 3 days before that because you had to order your meat or go pick up your meat.
Yeah.
Getting things ready. And especially when it comes to a food truck, food trailer.
Yeah.
Unless you have a commissary kitchen that has that big of a share of a walk-in that you can use. Yeah. For the most part, how big's the walk-in at your commissary?
So, I mean, it's a decent sized walk-in, but we only get like 2 shelves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we only have so much space. We have, honestly, it's probably the same size as like a regular commercial fridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get that much space. I'm basically getting like, I have a rack. You know what I mean? So, that's what we get.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the hard part, right? So, like, we get that issue, and then like we have a little bit of freezer space there too. But at the same time, like, I don't have a ton of fucking
frozen
refrigeration and freezer space, and I'm not freezing a ton of shit. So like, I'm shopping, in a sense for it the week of, and if it looks like a ton of rain on a Friday, I'm probably not going to pick up a ton of briskets.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to pick, like, I'll risk before I risk a brisket. Now I understand that, like, yes, you still have a lot of... What?
You broke, you paused out.
Oh, sorry. I'll risk pork shoulders before I risk brisket. In a sense, like, I understand that pork shoulders do still take a long time to cook, so you're still giving that time and that fuel into it, but it's still only $2.19 a pound, or I think it's $2.28 a pound right now. $2.28 a pound versus almost $4.
That's a big deal.
And not to mention, like, the yield on a shoulder, a lot more than the yield on a brisket.
Yep.
So that $2.49 a pound or whatever it is going further than the $4 a pound that brisket is, that's only yielding 50%. Let's just say it as a, 50% as an average.
Yeah.
Right? I'm probably getting 75 to maybe 80% on my shoulders yield, because I do cook bone in, so I'm pulling some of the bone out, and you know what I mean. Like, you're gonna lose a little bit of that, and I also
but it's not like a brisket that you're trimming off big chunks of fat and shit.
Exactly, but I mean, I cook big fat cap. I was gonna say I like big fat caps on mine, which what I will do is I do season them, I let them go, I render them in, and then I'll pull the fat cap and I'll re-season, because I re-season my pork anyways. Anyone that's like, I score my pork to get more seasoning in it, you're just being a fucking idiot. Just re-season it after you fucking pull it. You know what I mean?
Unless you want it to look cool.
Yeah, unless you're doing it for a look. But if you're doing it because you're telling me that you're getting more surface space for seasoning, that's stupid. And if you're doing it because you're telling me that you're getting more surface space for smoke penetration, that fat cap ain't gonna break or it ain't gonna separate and break till you're at like 140 anyways. That's just gonna be together. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think it's not
doing as much as some people think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a benefit, and I won't do the knife work.
Yeah, like, unless you want it for the show of like seeing this nice sword, and especially if you're doing something where you're pulling it in front of people, that kind of thing, that's a little different.
Yeah, but even then, it's still gonna be fucking. It ain't gonna be that pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoulders ain't pretty. A brisket's pretty. Shoulders ain't pretty.
Look like a blob.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, fuck, dude. I did a shoulder class with one of the local butcher shops here, and one of the girls who works there never saw a smoked pork shoulder before.
Yeah.
We get our shoulders out, right? And I was gonna pull 2 of them in front of the class because, like, obviously, like, it's a class, so we're gonna talk about how we're pulling it, what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, blah 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 blah, all this bullshit, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's like, they were in foil. It was in a foil pan that was rusting, and she's like, you get your foil. She's like, you put the foil pan in front of you, and then you unwrap the foil, and that's the first time she saw them, like, from raw.
Yeah.
And she was like, fuck, they're burned.
You were like, no.
Well, she's like, in my head, she's like, because she came up to me, and she's like, I literally looked at them, and she was like, I thought you fucking burned them. She's like, I thought they were destroyed, and we were fucked. Because there was 50 people there, and they were all fucking starving. And I'm like, okay, and then now you look, and like, I pull it, and I'm like, here's your money muscle, like, blah, 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 pulling stuff apart. I'm like, obviously, if you were doing it for a competition, you would slice these, but you know what I mean? Like, I talk it all through, but I'm like, I don't need to do it because we're just making fucking pulled pork, so there's no point in slicing them and then trying to pull them afterwards. You know, but I talk it all through on like how you would do it. And she was like, and then he started pulling, and she's like, and it looked so good. She's like, I didn't understand. And I'm like, well, you want that bark because a lot of the flavor comes from it.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, I just didn't know. She's like, I had no fucking clue. Which is crazy.
Yeah. And it makes sense though, because again, we've talked about it many times, especially where you are at. You're not in a barbecue region.
No.
So, and that's a big part of the problem with why people think sellout is a bad word up by
Yeah.
you, over here, out here by me in Connecticut, things like that. You want barbecue to be as fresh as possible. Yes, there are things I can do with the leftovers. If you were in a restaurant in a brick and mortar situation,
Sure.
there are things you can do with the leftovers. Chilies, you can do egg rolls, you can do nachos. There's different things I can do with leftovers. But in a food truck situation where time is of the essence, storage, especially cold storage, is at an absolute premium.
Yeah.
And your timing from taking your order to handing back, passing out an order, is trying to be as short as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's smoking hot and fast 2 times a day. And that's a way you can go. But even then, there's still only so much you can fit on that cooker. And you want, again, I tell people all the time, you want me to sell out because you want me to keep it as fresh as possible.
What are you cooking on? Curiosity.
I forget what she's got. I forget. So, Lori, what are you cooking on? She does some really nice stuff, though. She might have, I don't know if it's a mixin or not. I don't remember now. But
yeah, I mean, sellout is the key, and that's the hard thing. But like we just did, so we were there from 10:45, and we made it to 6:30 yesterday.
yeah,
We did put it in perspective. We had four and a half bellies.
yeah,
And I don't get little bellies. All mine are over 10 pounds. I think all the bellies I did yesterday were 10 and a half to 11 pounds. And then
she got a Southern Q and holds about 500 pounds of meat.
Okay. I mean, depending on what I'm cooking, I can probably get,
And she's
I
got,
can probably get close to that.
yeah,
If I'm cooking on both smokers, I could definitely get close to 700 or 800 pounds.
yeah,
Depending on what I'm cooking, obviously. Because space is always of the essence. And if something takes up more space and it's light, then, it is what it is. But, we did that. We did a bunch of smoked sausages. We did briskets. I did 9 briskets, which is a big risk right now.
yeah.
They ain't cheap.
No,
You know what I mean?
for the price of a brisket, that's a lot of brisket.
Yeah. So, and then I think we did. I think I had 8 shoulders. I might have had 9. I don't remember. And then we did 95 pounds of mac and cheese.
Yep, nine shoulders.
Yeah. It was 9 because so
shoulders.
we were also supposed to be at a brewery yesterday. Well, we weren't supposed to.
I haven't done that.
So we were also at a brewery yesterday, and Amanda dropped off. She was on her way to the brewery, and I was like, drop me off more food, take less to the brewery. So I think I had 9 full shoulders. And I literally, like I said, 95 pounds of mac and cheese, which is like, yeah, no, we're not gonna split our meat into smaller pieces. That sounds like a fucking horrible idea. I'm not cutting a brisket in half to cut it to, like, no, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. I'm sorry. I'm not cutting a fucking brisket in half. I control my cooker just fucking fine. It's not my first fucking rodeo. It's probably not the fucking best, but okay.
And
Like he's drinking. Barbecue shit. Yeah, no, I have no problem barbecue shaving people. Not a problem in any way, shape, or form. It's 2022, which means I can do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, see, there's a difference between award-winning barbecue and good food. Sorry, there is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not asking for help in any way, shape, or form, to be honest. I'm really not looking for your opinion, mainly because I don't care. It's more the fact that we're just talking about a topic, and award-winning barbecue tastes like shit. Yeah, usually it does. It's usually over salted, and usually has a lot of fucking phosphates in it. But the thing is, like, what we're talking about is the fact that people don't understand that, like, barbecue's meant to sell out.
Yep.
Like, there's a difference between going to fucking Chili's and getting ribs, or going to a chain restaurant that is smoking, a shit ton of food on Monday and Wednesday, and then again on Thursday night into Friday, and then maybe into Saturday, if they have to pick up,
that's a good ass.
Real barbecue runs out. That is true. Unless, I mean, you got places like Truth down in Texas. The reason they don't sell out is they keep their smokers running 24 hours a day, and they got fucking 4 pit crews. They got 4 dudes.
Yeah.
That, 4 crews that are running around the clock. I don't have that. That's not, we're not that big of a company yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're running smokers as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, especially being in the fact that you're a food trailer, not a brick and mortar like True's.
Yeah. Well, and then, like, so the other thing is, like, we had a hot dog guy that was next to us. Dude, he has his hot dog restaurant, or his restaurant is literally 5 minutes away from the fairgrounds. Okay.
We need more dogs. Somebody run them down here.
Yep. So he was literally running to get, we need buns. Go run and grab buns.
Yeah.
Oh, we need more dogs. Go run and grab dogs. You know what I mean? Like, great. Your hot dog takes, 4 minutes in a bath to cook?
Yeah.
If that. You know what I mean? If you have a good hot dog warmer and it's holding temp, like, you can dump 24 fucking hot dogs in there and they're ready in 2 minutes.
Yeah. By the time you're done getting them all in, the first ones you put in are probably ready.
I cannot make food at the same rate.
Yeah.
Are you on Wi-Fi? I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi.
I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on 5G.
Okay, then it might be my Wi-Fi. Let's see if that helps.
Okay. It says you're refreshing now, so we'll see what happens.
There we go. I think that's better because now you're not like lagging like a motherfucker. So I wonder if that's my
good.
Wi-Fi.
Could have been.
Sometimes, it's the world's an imperfect
Gosh
place.
darn internet.
Yeah, the gosh darn internet. Hope she didn't get too hurt there. I'm not trying to shame you in your barbecue things, but if you're fucking chopping up brisket and then putting it on your cooker to cook it faster, I got nothing. I'm sorry. That's just not how a brisket's meant to be cooked.
No,
and I will not bastardize my art that way. I'd rather literally look at you and close my window and tell you, be like, you can tell me to go fuck myself and never have me come back here. But it's funny, like, so it was the festival was put on by firefighters, right? Super cool dudes, great guys, right? So it's funny how all the firefighters, there was 15 firefighters.
They're all eating.
We served 14 of them.
One was a vegetarian.
I don't know. Because she got something else. I think she got food from the Filipino truck, which Sticks and Noodles, which is they're good people, great friends from us, and I think she got food from them. And I was like, cool, that's where I got food too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really blame you for eating at the same place I'm eating at.
Yeah.
But I think as I refreshed, I think I don't have the comment screen anymore. So maybe I do. There it is.
People with opinions like that are like airsofters, and those of us in the business are like battle-hardened Marines.
Seriously. So, and then like we also had eight musicians, and we fed 6 of them. And they could pick any truck that they wanted.
Yep.
Because they got free food. The festival was paying for it, right?
So they got to have whatever they wanted.
So they could pick any food on the fucking line. They came to my truck.
Yep.
So how many people do you think came to my truck versus other people?
So
and then,
I wanted to ask
you. My problem is like they see that they have a line. Hey baby, how are you? You'll like tonight's topic. The problem is how many, like, they see that these people have a line. Dude, I watched the tamale truck lady. They were already done. The tamales are done. Tamales are done. For her to make the topping, get the order and make the topping, it took her 6.5 minutes to get it out the window.
You don't just have all the toppings made and just put them together?
Yeah, they are. Do you understand how slow that is? I would literally have to take an order and then sit down and stare at my customer
to go
that slow. I'd have to be like, hey, yeah. So you want to have a conversation about this? So it can make my truck look like I have a longer line.
But to a point, human nature, a line begets a line.
I understand. Yeah, I know, which sucks. Right? It sucks for me.
That's
like one of the other trucks I fucking watched. It took them. The guy had 4 people in front of him. He waited in line for 7.5 minutes just to order.
Just to get to the front of the line and put his order.
Just get to the front of the line and say, like, hi, I would like this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, shit. I watched him because I could see him from like the back of our truck, right? I watched him move, right? I started a stopwatch because I wanted to see how long it would take. I served four
Mike's not a dick
people.
or anything.
Oh, I'm a total dick. Because I'm going to get yelled at for it, so I might as well have fucking something to come back with you at.
Yeah.
So I served 4 people in that time, and I was moving slow because I had to keep my eye on the guy to make sure I had the right time. That said, I'm moving fucking slower because my whole attention isn't there.
Yeah, you could have gone through more people had you not been watching him.
Yeah, I mean, we were slowing down at that point because the problem is, like, once we start, like, crossing shit off our menu, we get the... So you're all sold out, huh? Sold out or whatever's crossed out. And one of my employees is like, you're kind of a dick when you say that. I'm like, it's kind of a stupid question.
Yes,
am I wrong, though?
Don't sold out of
question?
pork belly burn ends.
Like, oh, you're sold out of everything, huh? I'm sold out of brisket and I'm sold out of pork belly burn ends. I have pulled pork mac. I have our smoked sausage special. I have this, and this. Oh. Just read. And then we had one lady, she was like, does the red mean you're highlighting it? Because we do red tape across it. Red painter's tape. And I'm like, no. I understand you can kind of like still see through it, but no. Fucking dumb do you have to be?
Some people, real fucking dumb.
And there was also a chance of rain on Saturday. There were storms in the area. They never hit us. But how the fuck was I supposed to know? I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
If you don't have a way to be like...
Let's be honest. If you had a crystal ball that could do that, you wouldn't be working in you wouldn't have a food trailer.
Exactly. Like dude, so we have a hot box on the truck. Plus we have steam tables. I brought enough food I literally could have taken like 2 more briskets with me, maybe is what I had left in my room in my hot box. It was filled. And I had shit stacked on top of stuff.
Yeah.
To make more room.
Yeah, that's how much you had in there.
And I had 2 wells completely filled. So just think about that. Plus in the middle of the day, I got more food from Amanda. Brought to me that was supposed to go to the pop-up that didn't.
And now how quick did she sell out?
She didn't. Her pop-up was not good. We should have canceled it and just fucking sat there. I
was going to say, so it's a good thing you pulled what you did.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like, but no one's going to go and pay me for that food that I lost.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not like you have the refrigeration to save it and the ability and the space to make something else with.
But like you said, dude, we're a food truck and we're not a food truck. We don't operate daily. I'm not there every single day. We do mainly events. We do a lot of breweries. We do stuff like that. I'm not a food truck that's operating.
You're not on a street corner every day.
No, I'm not. Right. A, it's very difficult to do that here. B, I'm just not doing that. I'm just not. It's not our business model. It's not our grind. But
against the guys that do.
No, nothing. My buddy Rhett does it. I mean, it's great for him, but he's also only open like 4 to 7 every day. You know what I mean? He's not open fucking like a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we don't have an event today. There's no event today. So not that I don't hold over food like that anyways, but it's like, what the fuck would I have done it?
Yeah.
It's not like I had an event the next day that I was like, oh, I can overcook and then fucking use it the next day. No, I couldn't.
Yeah. I got to the point where I made individual plaques for each item and fully pulled them. Either that or paint marker and erase it all together.
Yeah, so we've done that too. And either way, they're fucking people are idiots. Street service is dead. Like, it's so like it works. I think it works well for like taco trucks and stuff like that. It all depends on. I've said this a million times. It all depends on, like it all depends on the style of food that you're doing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's such a big thing on the style of food that you fucking cook.
Oof. Yep. Not fun. And yes, too many people work from home. Also, like part of the reason tacos work, tacos are a food that you can eat while moving.
Yes. Also, it's just easy. Not easy. I shouldn't say it that way, but like it's tacos. If I don't cook the fucking meat, I carry it to the next event. It's not a big deal. Brisket, you can't do that with.
You can. It's just not going to be very good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, you know what I'm saying. I have a quality that I need to stay at. Gave away.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that's the hard part, right? We served a shit. I went through 300 clamshells yesterday.
So
and that doesn't
300 meat. We'll say in theory 300 meals.
Yeah. Some of which feed two.
Yeah.
So.
But that's more than some brick and mortars do in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But yet, we're the ones that are yelled at for selling out because, well, you didn't bring enough food. You didn't do this. You're not putting the $1,000 down or $1,500 down in food cost and saying, God, I hope I fucking sell that. Because that's the gamble that we take, right? We're putting real money down that has an expiration.
Yeah.
I understand that most food does have expirations. I'm not saying that food doesn't, but certain things have longer shelf lives. Barbecue has a short shelf life.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's not a vacuum sealed package that I'm just opening, dumping, and going. You know, like my buddies who own Steak and Noodles, we talk about it all the time, and it's like, well, you got rice cookers, you're making rice. Okay. When one goes empty, the other one.
Yeah.
Right? Or when you see one's at half, you're already making the other rice.
Yeah, you already got the other one kicking
empty. In. You know, this one goes empty. That one's done. You start this, you know, you start it as you go, right?
Yep.
And then the same thing with like they do chicken adobo, so it's grilled chicken. Great. Chicken on a grill. Fuck, have one dude sitting there grilling chicken.
and just
Chicken
never
thighs.
stop. Yeah.
How long do chicken thighs take?
8 minutes.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Depending on what you're cooking them on.
You know, it ain't the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then they do beef skewers too, which are fucking really good. They do these awesome beef sticks. And I mean, they're just chunks of fucking, beef.
Yeah.
Easy. It doesn't take that long to sear that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's done.
Yeah. Well, and that's all you're doing is you're searing it.
Yeah.
And cooking the inside to medium rare.
Theirs is a little bit more.
But you know what I mean? It's in a piece of meat this big.
It don't take that long.
It doesn't take that long.
Medium rare doesn't. Medium, even they're like medium well-ish.
Yeah.
But it don't take that long.
No, not at all. Tri-tip smoke like a brisket.
I mean, I've done it in a sense. You don't quite go as long because tri-tip ain't gonna last as long.
Yeah.
You got to be careful of bringing it up to that temp. What I like to do is I actually cook it to a medium rare temp, and then I wrap until it gets to like right around medium. Because if you do tri-tip too rare, it's chewy as fuck no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a thick, cut of meat. But I just think it's funny that people are like, "Oh, you're sold out. Oh, must not have brought enough food." And then like I'm hooking up my trailer, or I'm trying to hook up my trailer to get out of there, and there's cars fucking driving and being dicks. And this guy's like, "I'm gonna help you. Hold on, I'll stop traffic for you." And he wasn't part of the fest, and he's like, "You're the only food truck I'll help." He's like, "Because you have the best food here." He's like, "I've had your food." He's like, "I'm not surprised you're sold out."
But here's the other thing that people don't think about and understand. In selling out, you knew before you showed up that day, you knew if I sell out, I make X amount of money, and it covers, and here's my food costs and my labor costs and my overhead, and here's my profit. Yeah. And you knew I need to sell X amount to make it worth being here.
Yeah.
Anything over that is bonus, but anything over that is bonus, but that can bite you the other way at the same time. So you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
This is how much I think I can sell. And all it takes, like you said, is it rained a little, and you could have been stuck with stuff.
Yep. Well, like my buddy Rhett, who owns 3-Headed Monsters barbecue truck, when I was first kind of really getting into it and I became friends with him, I talked to him a lot. Like, I was like, "Hey, man," I'm like, any input, any help would be great. Learned a lot from him. Still friends with him. Having lunch with him on Wednesday. But me and him always call each other and complain about shit. But he's like, dude, he's like, "Listen," he goes, "Don't." I'm like, "Cause what do you do?" I'm like, I asked him, I was like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "How do you know what to prep?" I'm like, "People give you wrong numbers. They tell you like it's gonna be 4,000 people and it's really gonna be 2, things like that." And he goes, "It's really easy." He goes, "Prep what you're willing to lose." And I go, "Okay." He's like, "If you had to prep this and you had to lose it all, could your business survive the next day?"
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well, that's changed the way I look at things.
Yep.
Because that is true. What if I lose everything?
At one event.
At one event. And I prepped hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had an event last year that we lost $9,000 at. It's a lot. Most businesses are gone.
Yeah.
Especially food businesses. Like, good luck surviving that hit.
Yeah. And let's be honest, you tried to listen, and I know you cut back compared to what you thought they were telling you.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough. Because they were full of shit on what they were going to have.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, prep what you're willing to lose.
No. Again, I tell people all the time, you want me to sell out. Sell out is a good thing.
Like, I want to move that brisket as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Because every hour that I hold that brisket, it degrades.
Yeah.
Every, hour that we hold those pork belly burn ends, they degrade.
Absolutely.
Hold pork every 3 hours. Because that shit just get beat.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, fuck. They also don't get it. Like, how many hours we put in
before you ever get a chance to make a dollar.
Before we make a dollar. We got 16, 17 hours into this shit.
Yeah.
Which is why the other thing that my thing is, dude, when there's food trucks, there's a couple food trucks that I know that they're like, oh, we love doing super long services. I don't want to do super long services. I want to do 2 to 3 hours and I want to be fucking done. And they're like, well, why? And I'm like, because we've worked 18 hours already.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be done.
Yeah.
Like,
I've already been up.
Yeah, like you were sleeping. We were working. Like
100%.
we want to be done. Not to mention, like the taco truck guy showed up late and then had to prep for an hour and a half, or an hour.
Like he prepped there, like he didn't show up with it.
No, showed up late and then prepped there.
Wow.
So if we started all at 10:45, there was only 2 trucks at 10:45 that were ready to serve. It was me and Sticks and Noodles. And the hot dog guy. If you count the hot dog guy. Right? We were the only 3 ready to serve. Tamale guy showed up at 3 o'clock. Well, no shit, he lasted longer than me.
Yeah.
He showed up 4 hours into service.
That's
one of the other burger trucks showed up at 1. Well, you showed up 2 hours into service.
Yeah.
Taco truck didn't start till 1.
You were already
2 hours into service.
Yeah, you were already ahead of them on time, being there and serving people.
Yeah.
But and I know we've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like you said, it's what you're willing to lose, because let's look at someplace like Aaron Franklin. You can't tell me he couldn't put in and run. He couldn't put 4 more cookers in there and run it and stay open another 10 hours. And have another crew running the cooker, running another set of cookers, and have it.
But is it worth it? Is that much work worth the result, the monetary result that you're going to get.
Well, and not only that, if he knows he sells out at, I'll say 3 o'clock, so he opens the doors at 11 to the public and he sells out at 3.
I lasted longer than Franklin's. I was there till 6.
If he knows exactly at what point he breaks even.
Yep.
He knows exactly how many briskets he cooks every day.
Yeah.
He has all the numbers. You can't tell me him or his accountant isn't like, look, this window you make 10 grand in profit a day, I'll call it.
Sure. Easy numbers.
Easy numbers, 10-day profit. If you try to stay open and have another set of cookers and another set of people and everything to now be open till 7, your overall profit is going to go, you might gain 2 grand more
for 12 or 13. Is it worth it?
For a headache of how many more people you have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing.
And I don't mean the customers. I mean how many more people you have to deal with, employees.
Yeah. How many more people could call in sick? How many more people could not show up on the job? How many people do you have to go find to do the job? That's a fucking feat in itself right now. Trying to think of what else. All your things go up.
Yeah. So we laughed. When we did the math at our store, we had a number of years ago, we had a snowstorm literally on Halloween and all kinds of crazy weather. We stayed open the month of November. The only 2 days we were closed was Thanksgiving and the Sunday after Thanksgiving. That's it. When we were all said and done, we made an extra 5 grand for the month.
Great. Was it worth it?
Well, exactly.
I mean, maybe to some people it is.
Yeah.
No, they're not any good. Flavored briquettes don't fucking really do anything. Mainly because there's a difference between burning something on top of wood and getting flavor out of it, like burning an onion or something like that, or having that onion already inside compacted. It's just going to burn differently.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know about yours.
If you want that other flavor, just buy some wood chunks.
Yeah.
Throw an onion on top. Like, you're going to get, we've said it before and we'll say it again, the fresh material, you're going to get better aromatics, better flavor, better smoke out of.
So here's a segue, a little bit. We'll stop bitching as much. Maybe. I can't promise anything. But I sent Kev a text earlier today. I don't know if he looked into that text message.
I started to.
That link. Obviously, they're not there. A friend of mine posted that. I believe he's heavily involved in the company. I won't use his name. I won't say who it is. I can tell you, but I believe he's heavily involved in it. I am interested to see how wood chips are going to burn like that.
I mean,
how they're going to move the ash.
So, in theory, you should get a little less ash.
You should get less ash, yes. Because the chunks, yeah. But I'm just saying, still, my theory is, or my thing is, you know how like a wood chip kind of almost turns into a burnt barbecue potato chip
Yeah.
if it doesn't stay lit, or if it'll go out because there's not enough combustion power necessarily on a wood chip that's that dry also. Because if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure that pellets have to follow the same rules as like wood does, where shipping across state lines, wood must be fully kiln dried. What's up, D Greens? And wood must be like, it has to be treated in a sense, because there can't be any bugs or anything inside of it.
So I'm going to say pellets are in theory, but I'm sure what it takes to process to make the pellet, you're killing, because when you compress it,
yeah,
whenever you compress something, you're making heat.
Well, yeah.
So it is, I'll say it's probably naturally dried.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same process.
It isn't correct, but it's
as chipping just wood.
Yeah. Now it's so for those that don't know what we're talking about, let's step back.
We probably should, yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
So there is a company coming out with a wood chip smoker grill.
Yes.
We'll say that in theory,
very much looking like a pellet,
operating similar to a pellet in the fact that there is
a
hopper, some sort of feeder system,
yes,
and some sort of ignition and fan. Al, what's going on, bud?
Might even be a remix to ignition. That would be R. Kelly's, though.
So they're using urine in it?
Yep.
So it basically, for all intents and purposes, to put it simply, it's a pellet grill that burns wood chips, not pellets.
Correct.
I think has potential.
Have you ever taken a torch to a fucking bunch of pellets, though?
Yep, they smolder.
Yeah, but they're hard to light.
Yep.
They smolder. Even if you throw chips, like, because I used to use chips, obviously, like, when I first got into it, I was like, oh, yeah, pellet chips, these are fucking great. Or, not pellet chips, but fucking chips, this is what we use. No, use fucking chunks, you never use chips, right? But you would throw them on hot coals, and they didn't ignite very well. They'd smolder, then they'd maybe ignite a little bit, but there'd be a lot of smolder. So I'm just wondering, like, to keep heat going, you almost have to have like a fucking cup of fucking fire.
So, and that's kind of what I'm really interested in. I need to watch the video and do some more. In theory, they're going to burn more chip because once you get them burning, we'll say in theory, between the convective and the conduction heating, being right here, you're going to get heat bouncing off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we'll say, when you put a good stack of big pieces of wood,
yeah,
versus just throwing two pieces in the center,
yeah,
I think it has potential. And it should, in theory, yes, it's kiln dried, so you are losing some of that moisture and some of that other parts to the wood, but you have more of that connective tissue of that wood, more of that cellulose.
Sure.
And therefore more of that, the smoke producing phenols and everything in there, comparatively to the pellet. I have a feeling
Sure.
it's going to act more like using a barrel or a big green egg without putting any wood chunks in it. I think it's going to be more like that.
Yeah, but I still think you're getting cleaner from a big green egg or a barrel.
Depends on how they're lighting and how they're keeping it, because if they're doing it something like, I'll call it a gas assist, like a Southern Pride.
I don't think there is.
I don't think it's gas. It's electric.
Yeah.
I get it. But if it's something,
No.
I'll call it, if it's something like having my loop lighter inside there,
Sure.
I think it has the potential to keep itself burning better and to stay clean.
Okay.
Because you're going to have that fan supported. And from what I read, it's got an air fan. So you're going to have I'll call it wind-driven, air-forced fire.
Yeah, and I mean, the one nice thing that you will get out of this one is you're not going to get the ash like you do from a pellet. And when I mean the ash that you get from a pellet, if you've ever seen an actual pellet cooker, it blows a ton of ash around because it's trying to keep pellets lit. And those are burning kind of like cigarettes almost, where they're turning into just nothing but ash. Which I understand that wood turns into ash too, but the way it burns and the way it breaks down, it's different.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it has potential. It also very much depends on how the construction of the whole unit. Because let's look at the difference between a mixing gravity, a stumps gravity, and a Masterbuilt gravity.
Sure.
So I think a large chunk of how this will work, I think, is very predicated on how tight it's built and how heavy duty it's built in comparison.
I don't think, with just the photos, it looks very similar to like a Green Mountain or a Traeger or a Rectech. They look very similar to it. No, I'm not saying I don't know the build quality. I haven't touched it. I've just seen it. I've just seen photographs of it online and video.
We're speculating here.
Yeah. So don't send me any mail. I really don't. I just don't care. But it's interesting to see. Now, my other question about this, a lot of people don't ask this about cookers, okay? And I don't think it really runs past most people's minds, but I think it's going to start. And what I mean by that is nobody asks how much it costs to run your cooker. Right?
Yep.
Commercially, we do. Because that matters in the food costs and all that shit. But when you go into the backyard world, a lot of these guys don't. Nobody talks about that.
Correct.
But so here's the question: how much is it going to cost to run that cooker with wood chips?
But here's the difference, though, between this wood chip one and a pellet one. In theory, you could buy a wood chipper and actually make your own chips with the wood you want that's not kiln dried.
Sure.
You cannot do that with a pellet.
True.
You can buy a chipper. Now, I'm not saying it's cheap and it's an easy thing, but in theory, it's no different than buying a chainsaw and an axe and splitting your own wood for a stick burner.
Yeah.
But you have that potential to be able to make it a better product, I'll call it.
Okay.
Versus a pellet, you really don't. Unless you want to buy a bunch of equipment to create the sawdust, to press it into a pellet, etc.
But most won't do this.
No.
So my question is, what does it cost to run? Average. I don't need to hear like, well, it depends on if you're just average it out for me.
Well, let's see. I know like the Fast Eddies, the big full-size Fast Eddies will do a 40-pound bag overnight of pellets.
Okay. So 40-pound bag.
Well, and I don't know what the cost of a bag of pellets
is. Let's say $20.
Yeah.
That's a cheap bag of pellets.
Yeah.
30 let's say $30. 40 pounds. $30 overnight. Now, my big green egg, I usually get, depending on like if I'm doing smokes or if I'm doing just hot and fast cooks or whatever at home, a bag of B&B will last me, if I'm empty, I'll get 3 or 4 cooks.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's $15. Okay. My drum, I don't do any like long smokes on it. But if I'm doing anything big, I would say I probably can get 3 or 4 cooks out of it, right? Out of those bags.
No, I'm not using the char logs. I actually put an actual stick.
Yeah, I just use an actual stick.
And use charcoal and just use the, Fogo or charcoal.
Oh, God, that one's long. Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, with the egg, if you set that fucking vent properly, you don't even need a genius on it. And you can see that if you look at an Egg Genius and you look at your fucking line of how little your fan actually turns on. You wouldn't even need it. To be honest, take the fan off, put it in there, set your temp, get your temp loaded and good to go, and just read the data. I bet you it fucking stays anyways.
Yeah, it's really the one place I can see, like, and I used it on my barrel. I used a Guru. It helped on my barrel.
Did you need the airflow?
Basically, because I should have gone to a bigger piece of piping because I made my own barrel. Just push more.
So you put 300 pounds behind a Tic Tac, it still fucking hurts.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say. Wintertime, or if you're in a situation where you have a lot of wind where your water is, that's going to shut down the rest of the dampener for the wind, and now the air has to make it through that.
No, I don't think that. I don't think Egg has any fucking desire to do that in any way, shape, or form. Egg is they're a very old school company.
Yeah, they
don't.
haven't come out with the rotisserie yet for it because it won't fit a few of the first gen eggs that they ever made. So
Yeah,
therefore, they don't want to come out with it because they're like, well, we don't want to piss off the people that have like the original eggs
that are almost dead.
Yeah.
Not
So
the egg. I mean the humans that are cooking on them.
if you do need more fuel,
you can lift out and go. I mean, I love my big green egg. Don't get me wrong.
you can lift out, but go to a kick-ass basket or something like that that'll allow you to add more fuel.
Shake it.
Yeah.
Run it.
Yeah, you get some more space with that. I definitely found it drops a little deeper into my dish. C-Mac, what's going on, bud? He just got, I don't know if you know Mike, he's like the newest member of Big Green Eggs team.
I don't know him. It's nice to meet you, my friend. But that, that's the thing. Like, I could see you using it in the winter. Big country, I'm not knocking you for doing it. I'm just saying, like, I've used a fan unit on mine before. I never saw like a huge need for it. I was never like, oh shit, I have to have a fan unit. Like, I never saw a huge need for it. But I can see why you use it. But I just don't think it's needed for every cook. Now, I think I'm saying that, like, I don't think it's needed for every cook, because I know guys that are like, oh, gotta put the fan unit on because we're cooking steaks tonight. Like, you don't need your fucking fan unit on for cooking steaks. It's a 20-minute cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't control your temperature for 20 minutes. But I can also see, like, long smokes and overnight stuff. Like, shit, you sleep a little better. You know what I mean? Where then there's Steelhouse, who's just an asshole. Oh, he's in here. Sorry. No, but you know what I mean? Like, it just depends. Also, I don't know if the Big Green Egg one does it. Are you able to you'll have temp, like with the temp probes, right? Are you able to set hold temperatures? Oh, no. Jesus. There we go.
Oh, here he goes with that knife again.
We get it. You're Mexican.
Just enough to get pulled over on a regular basis.
It keeps you humble, dude.
Beige guys gonna have it the worst. It's rough being beige.
But let me finish my one thing. The only problem to Big Country, the only problem that I see with those, like, where you're able to set like the guru and you're saying, okay, when my meat hits whatever, like 195, I want it to drop to 170 just to hold temp. The problem in an egg, that temp doesn't drop fast enough.
Yeah.
So you're literally like still holding 250 or whatever temp you're cooking at for a while before that egg starts to.
Yeah, it needs to actually be smart enough to know it takes an average egg a half hour, 45 minutes to drop temp. So we need to start 45 when it's 15, 20 degrees below what you need the meat to be at. We need to shut off and start.
But that's all user shit, right? So your
ceramic's got to be hella hot for a long time, even with no freaking charcoal in there.
That's what I'm saying. That like the ceramic holds so well that then it's just the ceramic starting to cook it, right?
Right.
I mean, shit. I know you guys all know people with like wood fire pizzas. Like those guys. I mean, some of those ovens, shit, they're off for a day, and it's like, well, that's still sitting at 450 degrees. It's like, what?
Well, yeah. Your boys at Culinary Kitchen, I remember you messaging me and being like, dude, they shut this thing off 4 days ago and it's still at 250 degrees.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit. They're like, we turned it off like 3 days ago. It's still 250. I'm like.
It's a cool problem to have, but at the same time, I mean,
Yeah. But that's why, like, a lot of those guys, like, if something happens to their ovens, like, and it needs to be like anything needs to be fixed inside, or if they need like a new floor, it's like a week. They gotta like literally, they're a week and a half
Yeah.
out of business.
Yep.
Because like you can't touch it.
Yep. But that's
Right?
also why, if you look at most of them, they start off with this big giant fire, and then they're barely burning a stick in the back of it.
Yeah.
Once it gets the temp, you're just to hold it takes nothing.
Yeah. It's just a maintain, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of the maintain is, and it also kind of depends on how many pizzas are going through, because the pizzas will
Sucking the heat out.
They'll suck the floor temperature out, right? And then you're gonna get shit sticking and whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's also the nice thing of like, you know,
That's a good question.
charring that pizza.
That's a good question, Blinky. That's interesting.
I mean, a good wood-fired pizza, I think if you put it on a rack so it wasn't sitting directly on the bottom, it probably
I
worked.
just wonder.
Put a metal container underneath. It's humid. That probably work really.
Actually, I think we're all missing one thing that would fuck everything up.
Yeah.
The grease fire that would start in that pizza oven.
That's why I'm saying put it on a rack in a pit with a shallow pan.
Okay, that would hold all the everything. Okay, that's the only way to do it. Because if you just put it on a rack and you shove that thing in there,
Yeah.
You're gonna lose.
there's gonna be a lot of grease.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That shit gonna go up in flames.
The pizza oven will be.
Gonna go. I mean, it'll be done, but like,
Why are there flames coming out the front door?
exactly. Like, it would be a big fucking grease fire. I could only imagine what kind of grease fire that would be. Like,
Oh, that does sound good. If you're doing brisket and pizzas at the same time, I mean, some of that beautifulness.
I mean,
but I'd rather.
I guess I would go the lazy man way. Why wouldn't you just use some tallow?
yeah.
Hard to argue with
I
that.
mean, I just put brisket on top of pizza.
That's even better.
Like, there you go.
That works.
Make it easy.
Since Steelhouse is here now, I need another beer, so I'll be right back.
How was your weekend, Steelhouse?
Not bad. What we do this week? Mostly family time. It was nice. Just get to relax a bit.
That's nice.
Got a couple cooks coming up, and surprisingly, nothing much on the concert train lately.
Now, do you think that's just because of like after COVID, like people not wanting to do it, or do you think budgets got cut? What do you think it is?
I think it's a collection of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because if somebody gets COVID now and they're on tour, it costs millions of dollars. You know,
Yeah.
you got to reschedule stuff. You got to, and nobody wants that. That being said, I wasn't busy, but I was still getting concert gigs like with GNR and other folks during COVID time. They were just in the bubble, but they're still traveling within the bubble. Nobody wants to pay big money on tour anyways, because they're trying to make as much money as they can.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to make up for what they lost when they couldn't tour.
Everything, and the prices, prices gone up. So the price before I was giving them, which was I was make good money, and then I get to see a show. But now, you know how much things have gone up. But it seems like meat prices are dropping a bit. Like I picked up a freaking choice brisket full packer for $60, and that hasn't happened in a while.
Maybe they're dropping. For me, they've been pretty steady.
Yeah.
We've been pretty steady. We're right around that like 389. Like we'll fluctuate a little bit, like 389, 386, but we're never under 380. And then, yeah, but Kroger did that to get people in the door.
Yeah.
That's not, that's not a stable source.
What's hard now is trying to get certain cuts. Like, I'll go to Costco and they're like, we don't have it. I'm like, okay, when are you going to get it? We don't know.
Don't know.
Which is, I mean, I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know. I mean, if it's still like the hangover from COVID or if it's just new stuff now. I mean, you got to think for a certain extent, the powers that be wanted to make some money, and people used COVID as an excuse to jack some prices up.
Sure.
But then there's other side of things where prices had to go through the roof. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, Joel, shipping is still outrageous and still insane.
Well, man,
shipping's outrageous. Yes.
Truckers out here, man, are protesting because of California law and the gig workers. You know what I mean? As far as drivers or truck drivers shipping things, it's stupid.
Well, you guys have a whole set of issues in general in your state.
It's all bad, dude. It's so. I was looking at how many people are moving and leaving California, and then what real estate's looking like. I mean, because Silicon Valley, I mean, that's where you go and buy a piece of garbage house for $1.2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nothing fancy. Like over in that area, like towards San Jose, it's stupid. It's stupid, but they're pricing things out.
Do you even get a house for that though?
1.2? Yeah, it ain't anything special. Like I said, it's like you got a
1 bedroom, 1 bath.
It's probably like, honestly, it's probably like 2 bedrooms with a den, and you're looking at a one bath, maybe a half bath to go with it. It was built in like 1965 or something.
Yeah.
And you got
and there's humans crashing in it.
It needs work. You know what I mean? That's how it is. It's so stupid. But it's going to be coming down. Real estate all over the place, I feel, is going to drop dramatically.
Eventually, yes. But
typical.
I think that
have a restaurant and keep it successful. People are so burnt out. Like whenever we go out to eat in this area, people are hating life all the way around. So it's hard to find a spot where people are, really
happy humans. Yeah, dude. I mean, we can't find we literally just had a couple of our staff members that are like, "Oh, well, we can't work Friday nights anymore."
Just because they don't want to?
Well, because they're in high school. There's a lot of high school girls that work for us. So they're like, we want to go to football games. We want to do that. Because it's their senior year. So they're like, we want to do the high school thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, I blame them. They got fucked for the last couple of years.
Yeah. So now it's even more on their mind. We have an opportunity before we get fucked, before monkeypox shuts us down, or fucking polio or whatever the hell is going to be next.
It's going to be the plague next.
I mean, I just don't I don't know if people could handle another shutdown.
No. I mean, the last one was really bad. And the way CDC is things now anyways is they're taking huge steps back.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think people, if you had another one that people were like, oh, it's 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Everybody else, fuck you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody flattening shit.
That was the funny thing, man. It was during the depths of COVID, I was very busy with biker barbecues. Because, most of those guys are vets or combat vets or, different type of,
Different type of human.
They've already been exposed to crazier shit than COVID.
They're already,
yeah.
To them, whatever, man. I mean, it's not bullets. It's if you've been in combat and you've already made your adjustment to die, you're not going to be worried. You're just it was great, but at the same time, it's it's weird. It's just a weird thing that, there wasn't enough truth or information out there to begin with. it was said out here when they shut down outdoor eating, I think for like the second time or third time, after all the restaurants spent thousands of dollars to set up their restaurants to have outdoor eating.
Yeah, to reset and to set themselves up in order to follow the rules.
And then they said, no, we're shutting everything down. And the reason that was given was it was bad optics. It just looked bad. Even though there was no problem with it, there was no issues, it just looked bad that, we're eating outdoors. There was no science behind it. So that sort of thing, it ended a lot of restaurants out here, which were amazing.
Oh, cool. And I'm sure there was a lot of restaurants, which, I mean, it happened here, and there's a lot of restaurants in general that some guys were close to maybe retirement.
Yeah.
And they looked at it saying,
fuck it,
I'm done fighting.
Yeah. Let's eat. What's up?
Somebody?
You know, there's a lot of people that's half of what happened with the truck industry. Truck industry, all these guys went, I'm out. You close down every school for getting your license to drive, your CDL. And everybody we were already short on drivers before that happened. So
and then you put diesel to $6 a gallon.
So now there's the trucking companies themselves are shorting trucks because they don't want to pay for the fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy.
Or they're not taking loads. Or they're not, they're not taking they're like, hey, that doesn't fill my truck. Not taking it. Oh, if it doesn't fill your truck, like, what do we got to pay? You got to pay for a full truck. But I'm only filling half your truck. Got to pay for a full truck.
My buddy company in Texas, right out of in San Antonio. They got 4 trucks, and I was calling up because you go through those days that are so bad that you have barbecue days, and you're like, if you don't question why the hell you're in business for yourself at least twice a week, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So it's like one of those days.
Only twice?
I'm being really.
You did say at least.
That's the minimum, bare minimum.
Okay.
It's like, I give him a call, and I'm like, how much does it cost to get your CDL, man? How much does it cost to be a truck driver? He's like, I wouldn't recommend it right now. You're not going to make any money because it's just not built for it.
Yeah.
It's just not enough adults in charge to maintain things. So,
well,
I was
supposed
to go down south to SoCal and go to the Heritage Barbecue Festival and hang out with those guys. And couldn't make that happen, but it was like, bro, freaking 2M Smokehouse and all the guys are down there. It's like
Chris Lilly there, Tuffy Stone's there, and Sterling Ball is there.
Dude, you're making this. I'm out of Xanax. There's no more bourbon. All I have is beer.
You're out of Xanax.
And you need to move past beer to something a little harder.
I'm trying.
Xanax.
At least it's 6.7%.
I thought Xanax was just given out regularly where you live, like Tic Tacs.
They come with 49ers season tickets.
Oh.
Well, it's even worse for.
Hey, that's better than being a Jets fan.
What's that?
It's better than being a Jets fan.
I mean, it could be worse. I'll be Raider fan.
New York Jets.
Do we know where the Raiders are now?
I don't think the Raiders are right now.
Now, hold on. But are the New York, I believe it was the New York Jets, right? Aren't they saying that they want them to, like, not call themselves the New York Jets because technically their stadium
They play in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Both teams do.
Yeah.
Well,
They both play. So they're like, well, this is kind of bullshit because you're claiming you're the New York Jets, but you play in Jersey. Like, your home stadium is in Jersey. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's like the 49. It's like the San Francisco 49ers. It ain't San Francisco, man. It's like right next to San Jose. Like there's a lot of cities between San Francisco and San Jose. Santa Clara is not San Francisco, but whatever. All right.
Well, so the Bears. I mean, the